Okay, next topic is constructor and destructor. So up to now we have seen the student class. In this student class, class student. Okay, so I will be using the same class for every example from now on. For most of the topics, I will be using this class. So you have to get familiar with it. For example, I am using the variables int roll number m1, m2, and then I am using the functions. What functions I am using? I am using set function, get function, add function. Now in the same class I will be in this same example of the class I will be using more I will be explaining the other topics using this class. So here I will be using constructor and destructor. So I will be adding the constructor here, destructor here, and then when I move on to this pointer I will use same this example. When I move on to suppose object passing, then I will be adding another function for object passing. When I move on to friend function, then I will be adding another function for friend function. So I mean to say that I will be using this same example from now onwards for every topic. So the next topic is so you have to get familiar with it, and you have to remember this function, this class. We have to remember it. M REM. You have to remember this complete example of student class. Okay, how to create two objects? You have to remember what? How to create the student class, and then how to write function definitions, and how to create two objects of this class. And for these two objects we will be doing the same thing. We will be creating objects. First step is create object, second step is assign value using set function, then print value using get function, and then add value using add function. So for these two objects you should know how to perform these four tasks. Okay, so now the current topic is constructor and destructor. Okay, so now in this example I will add a constructor and destructor. So what are constructor and destructor? Let us see. So what is a constructor? The first thing is, what is a constructor? Always remember that constructor is a type of function. Okay, constructor is a type of function, and for example you have set function, you have get function, you have add function. Similarly there will be a function and it will be called constructor. Okay, now what is the purpose of this function? This constructor can perform any task. Okay, for example it can be used as an alternative to set function. You can use it as alternative to set function. What does set function do? Set function will assign value. Similarly you can use constructor to assign value. Okay, so I am just saying an example, but it can perform any task. Okay, so mostly it is used to assign values at the time of object creation. Okay, so always remember that it can perform any task, and always remember it do not any create objects. Now many students believe that constructor create object. No, constructors do not create object. Constructors are a function which are called when object is created. There is a difference, so please understand clearly what I am saying. Constructors are called when object is created, and they are called automatically. Okay, constructor will be called automatically. I will be explaining with an example. So please remember, constructor do not create any object. Constructors are called when object are created. Okay, and the third thing is, if we have already have a set function, then why are we using a constructor to assign values if we already have set function? So the thing is that it saves effort. Constructor will save effort. For example, when you are creating object, let me take a small example here. When you are creating object without constructor, you will create like this, object 1. Okay, so how will you create objects? Student object 1. Okay, then you will assign value using object 1 dot set. Okay, so when you create this object, you already know that this object will be empty. Okay, roll number m1 and m2, so these values are blank. Now you have to assign value. What you will do, you will write object 1 dot set function, and then you will write the values. Now the values will be assigned to these variables m1 m2. Roll number will be 1, marks 1 will be 10, marks 2 will be 20. Okay, so you have to call this function, right? You have to call the set function, and it is an extra effort. Now when I am using constructor, what I will do, when I am using constructor, I can simply do it like this: student object 1, and when I am creating this object, I will be passing the values 1, 10 and 20 like this. Okay, so please remember this is very important. Whenever you are using a constructor, you will create objects like this. If you create object like this, then there will be an error. Okay, whenever you are using constructor, always create objects like this. You have to pass these values when you are creating object. Okay, after that you do not have to call the set function. No need to call the set function. So here you can see that we are saving effort. Okay, here we have to first create object, and then you have to what you have to call this set function. Now here both the steps are performed in one step. Okay, both the tasks are performed in one step. Here object is created as well as you are assigning values. So now you don't have to use any set function. After that you can direct. Now what will happen? So this is how constructor will be used. Constructor will be used to assign values. Now when you call this object, what will happen? When you create this object, what will happen? Object 1 will be created and roll number will be 1, marks 1 will be 10, marks 2 will be 20. Okay, so this is how constructors are used, and this is how objects are created and values are passed. Okay, and the thing is, when you are using constructor, it will save effort. You do not have to call set function. So this is how set function will be called. And constructors do not create object. Okay, when you are creating this object, suppose here I am creating object, the constructor function will be called and it will assign value to the object one. Okay, next thing is, what is the purpose? It can perform any task, but it can be used as an alternative to set function. This is only an example. It can perform any other task. Now what are the benefit of constructor? If you already have set function, the benefit is that you do not have to call the set function. Okay, the set function will be called automatically when object is created. Okay, now let us see how constructor is called. So when is the constructor called? The constructor is called at the time of object creation. Okay, how is it called? It is called manually. You cannot call it, user can't call it. Okay, and it will be called user cannot call it, and you can't call it at any other time. Okay, you can't do it any other time. Suppose you have created the object here, so constructor will be called here. You cannot call it at any other point of time. Okay, and how many times constructor can be called? Next point is, how many times it can be called? It can be called only one time when object is created. Okay, you cannot call the constructor more than one time because object is created only one time. Now what are the characteristics of constructor? This we will see when we write the code for constructor. Okay, you can see constructor will have same name as the class. There will be no return type. It will be called automatically and it can be called only one time. Okay, now let us see what are destructor. I will write the code for constructor and destructors together after that. First let us come to destructor. Okay, so what are destructors? Destructors are also functions. Always remember, constructors and destructors are functions. They are not objects, and they are not they are not object. They are always, remember, it is a function. Okay, second thing, what does destructor do? Destructor can do any task at the time of what is the purpose of destructor? What does destructor do? It can perform any task. Okay, constructor can also perform any task, but the difference is destructor can perform any task that needs to be done at the time of object destruction. Means whenever you want to destroy, whenever an object is destroyed, you can perform any task. Now let me tell you what is the scope. Let us come to this point. When does a destructor is called? Okay, So let me explain it here. For example, you are writing int main, and inside this main function you are creating object student, object 1, object 2. Okay, and then you will be writing some code here. Now what happens is, when your program runs, it will start from here, then it will come here. So here objects are created. Always remember, objects are not created automatically, you have to create them. You have to write this line of code and then only object will be created. Now when will these objects be destroyed? These objects are destroyed when the scope is over. Scope means when this function gets over. So main function will end here. So here the scope will be finished. Scope is over and objects are destroyed. Object 1 and object 2 are destroyed here. Okay, always remember that objects are destroyed when the scope gets over. So the scope for this main function gets over here, so objects are destroyed here. Okay, second thing, if there is a local block inside main, let me take another example, int main. Now suppose if I am writing I am creating two objects, object 1 comma object 2. Okay, now suppose I am creating a for loop here, or suppose I am creating an if loop. If I'm creating an if block, now inside this if block I am creating object 3 and object 4. Okay, after that I am creating two objects here, object 5 and object 6. Okay, so now see very carefully, objects 1 and object 2 are created here. Okay, object 3 and object 4 are created inside this if block. So the scope of this object 3 and object 4 will be up to here. Okay, this object 3 and object 4 will get destroyed here. Object 3 and object 4 will be destroyed here. Okay, and then object 1 will be created here, object 2 will be created here, object 3 will be created here, 4 will be created here, 3 and 4 will be destroyed here, and then object 5 and 6 will be created here. Here I am creating two new objects, student, object 5, object 6. Now when the main function finishes, these object 1 and 2 and 5 and 6, these four objects will be destroyed. Okay, so this is how you have to remember that whenever there is a local block, the objects will be destroyed when that local block is over. So object 3 and 4 will be destroyed here. Okay, so this is called the scope, and this is you just have to understand when the object will be destroyed. If any object is inside an if block, or for example for loop, while loop, then it will be destroyed when that loop is over. It will be destroyed here. Okay, so now let us come back to destructor. Okay, so what are destructor? Destructors are a function which are called when the function when the object is destroyed. Destructor will never destroy your destructor doesn't destroy the object. Okay, always remember, destructor will not destroy your object. Destructor will be called when your object is destroyed. Okay, destructor is a function which will be called just before your object is destroyed. Okay, what is the purpose of destruction? Why are we using the destructor? It can be used for file handling. Now let me explain this point. Why are we using a destructor? Okay, for example, suppose your program is running. So where does your program run? Your program will always run in memory. So whenever I am saying memory, it always means RAM. Okay, memory doesn't mean your hard disk or your pen drive or your suppose any external device. Okay, memory always means RAM. Okay, memory always means RAM. In computer science, memory will always means RAM, and memory doesn't mean hardware, hard disk or pen drive or memory card. Okay, memory card is not memory, it is a storage device. So you should understand this difference. Okay, now whenever you store any program, whenever you store any software, it is stored in the hard disk. Okay, but when it is stored here, but when you run it, it will be moved to RAM, it will be loaded into the RAM and then it will run here. Okay, so any program, any type of software, any type of code, whenever you run it, it will be loaded into the memory or RAM and then it will be run. Okay, so you have to remember this. Suppose this part is your RAM and this part is your hard disk or storage device. Now when your code is here and you want to run it, then it will be loaded into the RAM and your code will run here. Okay, suppose this is your program. Okay, so now your program is running. Now suppose inside this program there is an object, and this object has created a file. Okay, so this object has created a file for reading. Okay, so this object wants to read a file. Suppose you have a text file and this object wants to read a file. Now what happens, that file is inside the hard disk. Okay, so that file will also be loaded into the RAM. Okay, now the difference between these two, what is the difference between this program and this file? Okay, so this program is managed, this program is run by your operating system. Okay, this program is opened by your operating system. This program is running by this program is handled by your operating system, because your operating system will be running all the program. But this file is opened by this object. For example, you have created an object and this object has opened this file. Now this file will not be managed by operating system. It will not be managed by operating system. It will be managed by that object. Okay, so now suppose if you forget to, if your object, if you are creating object but you, there is a separate topic called file handling in your last unit in C++. Okay, in that you will be creating a file, you will be reading a file, you will be writing a file, you will be saving a file. So for example, I have created this text file, this is in the RAM. Now you have to save it. Whenever you are making any changes to this file, you have to save it back. Okay, you have to save it back to the hard disk. Now this file is not handled by operating system, this is handled by this object. Okay, so suppose if your object forgets to save this file, then this file will be damaged. Okay, this file will be lost. So it is the responsibility of this object to save this file. Okay, this will not be the responsibility of your operating system to save this file. Now suppose if your object is destroyed before saving this file, then this file will be lost. Okay, so always remember, suppose you are your object is destroyed but it has opened this file and it has not saved this file, then that file will be lost. So for this purpose destructors are used. Whenever your object is being destroyed, just before that it will check whether your file has been saved or not. If it has not been saved, then it will save that file. Okay, so what is the purpose of destruction? Destructor file handling task, file handling task. Okay, just before object is destroyed, just before object is destroyed, what it will do, it will check if the file is saved or not, if file is saved or not. Okay, so if the file is not saved, then it will save the file. Okay, so this is just an example of destructor. That destructor will be used on destructor can be used to perform any task at the time of object destruction. Now what type of task do you need to perform at the time of object destruction? File handling task. Okay, so this is an example. For example, suppose I have opened any text file. Now suppose if I am closing this one, let me show you an example. If I am closing this one, then I have not saved this file and it is asking me file has been modified, do you want to save it? So here I did not choose the save option, I simply clicked this button and the object was destroyed. Okay, so you can see this as an example of destructor. When I am clicking this button, this object is getting destroyed, and when object is getting destroyed, it is checking that I have not saved this file, so it is calling the destructor, and this destructor is asking me that I want to save this file or not. Okay, so I have not chosen this option to save the file, it comes up automatically. So in the similar manner, destructor will be called automatically when you close that object, when you destroy any object. Now let us come back to destructor and let us see. Okay, what is the benefit of this, what is the purpose? It can do any file handling task, and that task can be done at the time of object destruction. Now what is the benefit of this? Suppose if you want to, if the object forgets to perform any task, then that can be done automatically by destructor. Okay, destructor, remember that destructor is called automatically, so that task will be performed automatically. You do not have to do anything about it. When object is destroyed, that task will be performed automatically. Now when is a destructor called? Destructor is called just before the object is destroyed. What is the scope? Scope means that whether your object is in a local block. If your object is in a local block, it will be destroyed when that block is over. Now how is destructor called? How do you call a destructor? We can't call it destructor. Okay, user can't call destructor. It will be called automatically when the object is getting destroyed. When is the object getting destroyed? When its scope is getting over. Okay, how many times can you call a destructor? Okay, so remember, automatically is very important. Your destructor is a function which will be called automatically when your object is destroyed. And how many times? You can call it only one time. What are the characteristics? It will have same name as the class. When I write the code, then you will understand. It will have a not sign. There is no return type. There will be no parameters. It can be called only one time and it will be called automatically. Now let me quickly write a code for this one to explain constructor and destructor. Okay, so I'm writing a program to show the use of constructor and destructor. I will be creating same student class. Okay, class and then student. Okay, inside this class I'm creating the variables. I'm creating private variable. What private variables I am creating? Int roll number, m1, m2, and I'm then what comes next comes our set function, void set int x, int y, int z. Then next function is get function. Next function is add function. Okay, so these three I have already covered. So now I will write constructor. How I will write constructor? I will write student and then same these parameters. Okay, constructor is an alternative to set function. Okay, so it will be, its code will be very similar to set function. So now this is a constructor. Okay, so you can see that it has no return type. I have not written void, int. These are called return type. Void, int, float, char. So a constructor will not have any return type and it will have same name as the class. My class name is student, so constructor name will be same. Okay, always remember, constructor will have same name as the class. Next is destructor. Destructor will be written like this. Okay, so this is my destructor. Now always remember, it will have a not sign before it. Okay, it is the opposite of constructor, so it will have a not sign. It will also not have any return type. There will be no void, no int, no char, nothing. Simply class name, and this will be your constructor, this will be your destructor. And destructors can't have any parameters. Always remember that, no parameters. For constructor it is optional. You can write parameter or you cannot write parameter, but for destructor you cannot have any parameter. Okay, so these are your constructor, this is your constructor, this is your destructor. Now let me write how to define those functions. Okay, so for defining the void, I am defining set function void student set int x, int y, and int z. Okay, so you have to remember that how do you write a function? You will write the return type, then you will write class name, scope resolution operator, function name, and parameter. Inside this I will write roll number equals to x, marks 1 equals to y, and marks 2 equals to z. Okay, so why I will be writing this? Always remember, when you call the function object1 dot set, you are passing values 1, 10, 20. Now this 1 will go to x, this 10 will go to y, it will go to z. From x you have to pass it to roll number, and this will go to marks 1 and marks 2. So from x you have to pass it on to roll number, so you will write roll number equals to x. Okay, now let me write the get function, void student get. What is get function do? It will print roll number, marks 1, marks 2. Okay, next step is add function. So void student and then add function. What will add function do? It will add m1 plus m2. What is my next step? So there are three functions that we have seen earlier. Now I will add a constructor and destructor. Okay, so how I will add a constructor? For a constructor there is no return type. For example, in this function there is a return type. For a constructor there is no return type, so I will write class name student student, and then I will write function name. So here function name is same as your class name. So now this is what I have written. Okay, so this is your constructor, this will be your class name. So how I write a function? I write void, but constructor you cannot write any void, so you have to remove that. Then next I will write student, so this is class name, and then I will write function name. So this is the name of my function, this is the name of my constructor, it will be same as student. So that is why I am writing student two times. Okay, so inside this you will write the same thing that you have written in set function. So here I am writing xyz, so same thing I will write here. Roll number equals to x, marks 1 equals to y, marks 2 equals to z. Okay, and then optionally I can print constructor is called, constructor is called. Okay, now let me write the destructor. So I will write class name, and then this is how you will write destructor. And what I will do inside destructor, I will, for example, I will simply print destructor is called. Okay, so my destructor will simply print destructor is called, it will not do anything else. I am not doing any file handling task here. Okay, I am simply printing destructor is called. So this is your class name, this is your function name, and destructors can't have any parameter. Now let us write the main function. Int main, inside this main function I am creating two objects, student object 1. Now always remember here that I am using constructor, so I will call my objects like this. I will pass values when I am calling my object, otherwise there will be an error. Okay, so earlier I was simply writing object 1 object 2, but now you have to write this part also, you have to pass these values. Okay, now I will not call set function because I have already assigned the value here. Then I will print object 1 dot get. Okay, what was the first step is object creation, second step is assign values, both steps are performed here. Next step is print values, and next step is add values. Okay, similarly for object 2 I will write, for object 2 the first step is create object, that is already done here. Second step is assign values, now I do not need to assign values using set function, that is also done here. Third step is add print values, and then add values. Okay, so this is how you will use constructor. You should notice the difference here. First difference is that your object will be called like this. Second difference is you will not be calling any set function, you will simply call get and add function. Okay, now what will happen, what will be the output of this program? Now at this point in this line, what is happening, there are four steps, four tasks are performed here. The first task is you are creating an object, you are creating object. Second task is you are calling constructor. Okay, so this is happening at the same time in this step. Your third task is you are assigning values, right? You are assigning 1, 10, 20. And fourth task is you are printing, what you are printing, constructor is called. Okay, so why we are printing this? Just to show an example that constructor is constructor is called. Okay, it is not mandatory to print this, but just for an example we are printing it. So when I am writing my constructor, so this is your constructor, inside this constructor you are printing constructor is called. Okay, so these four tasks are performed, your object is created, constructor is called, you are assigning values, and you are printing constructor is called. Okay, so after that, now let us see the output of this program. Let us see the output. So in this line, what will be the output? In this line, your output will be constructor is called. Okay, two times your output will be shown, constructor is called. Why two times? Because you are creating two objects. Okay, for each object constructor will be called separately. Okay, earlier I told you that constructor will be called only one time, but that is for each object. For this object, constructor will be called only one time. For this object, constructor will be called only one time. So there are, so the output will be two times. Constructor is called, constructor is called. Okay, now next come to this line. In this line you will are printing the values 1, 10, 20. So output will be 1, 10, 20. Next come to this line, you are printing the sum of these values 30. In this line you are printing object 2, that is 2, 50, 50. In this line you are printing the sum of these two values 100. Okay, so this will be the output. And finally, okay, finally one more thing, at this point your objects are destroyed. Okay, so here object destructor is called will be printed. Destructor is called will be printed again two times. Okay, so I have not called the destructor anywhere. You can see I have not called the destructor, but your output will show this line also. Destructor is called, because when your main function is finishing, your main function will finish here, and at that point your objects will be destroyed and destructor will be called. Okay, so the output will be like this. Constructor is called, constructor is called, 1, 10, 20, 30, 2, 50, 50, 100. Destructor is called, destructor is called. Okay, so now let us see the characteristics. Let us come to the characteristics part. Okay, for the constructor, first let us come to constructor. For a constructor, it will have same name as the class. We have seen there will be no return type. You will not write any void, int, char, and nothing. It will be called automatically, and it will be called only one time. Okay, so for each object it will be called one time. Okay, so suppose there are 5 objects, then it will be called 5 times, one time for each object. Set function and get function you can call as many times for any object. Okay, so for one object you can call set function 5 times. For one object you can call get function 5 times. Okay, but for one object you can call constructor only one time. So that is that you have to understand. Second, now let us come to characteristics of destructor. It also has same name as the class. Second, there will be a not sign before it. Third, there is no return type. There will be no parameters. Very important point. In constructors you can have parameter, in destructor you cannot have any parameter. It will called only one time and it will be called automatically. Okay, now let us see the differences between constructor and destructor. Okay, okay, so first let us see what are the difference between a constructor and a normal function. I have told you that constructor is an alternative to set function, right? So suppose there is a constructor and there is a normal member function, for example set function. What are the differences between these two? Okay, first difference is constructor name should be same as class, same as class, and it can have any name. Normal member function can have any name, right? You can give it set, you can give it assign, you can give it put, any name you can give it. Second thing is constructors can have no return type. There should be no return type. It can have any return type, for example void return type, int return type, and char return type, etc. Third thing is constructors are called automatically. Okay, you do not need to call constructor, you need to call this function set function. We have to write object one dot set. If you do not write this function, then value will not be assigned to the variable, but it is called automatically. And finally thing is it can be called only one time for each object, and you can call it as many times. Okay, so for example you can write object one dot set 1, 10, 20. Then you can write object one dot set again 1, 30, 40. then you can write object1 dot set again 15060. Now what will happen? So suppose their object, you are creating object1 and you are writing roll number marks 1 marks 2, the value of roll number is 1 10 20. Okay, so when you call the set function, the value will be 1 10 20 for this object1. Suppose you are calling it again, now this value will change, this value will be changed to 1 30 40. Now you are calling the function again 150 60, then what will happen? The value will change 150 60. Okay, so that is the difference. You should always remember that you can call it as many times, and for each time the value will change. Okay, and the next thing is your constructors can be called any number of time, and it must have parameters. When you are calling the function, when you are creating object, it must have parameters. Okay, and the next difference is for example, let us write student, okay, int x int y int z. And for example here, what will be the example? Set function int x int y int z. Okay, so that's what you have to remember. Okay, and one more thing you have to remember, that your class can have both set function and constructor at the same time. Okay, so these are the differences between constructor and member function. These are the differences. One thing you have to remember, that where is the class function? This is your class. Okay, so your class can have set function as well as constructor. Okay, it's up to you. It's not that if there is a constructor then you can't have set function. It's nothing like that. You can have both set function as well as constructor. Okay, so it's up to you. And then now let us see the differences between constructor and destructor. What is the difference? Constructor and constructor both have the same name as the class, but there will be a not sign for a destructor. There will be a not sign for destructor. Next, a constructor is created at the called at the time of object creation. Destructor is called just before object destruction. It will be used like this, it will be used like this. Constructors can have parameters, destructors can have no parameters. Always remember. And constructor is called in order of object creation. Okay, this is important. Now let us understand this. Suppose you have created an object. Suppose you have created inside this main function, you have creating objects. Inside this main function you are creating student object 1 object 2 object 3. Okay, so these objects are created at the same time, not at the same time, but you can imagine that object 1 is created first, then object 2, then object 3. So object 1 is created first, then object 2, and then object 3. Okay, so this is how objects are created. So constructor will be called first for this object, then for this object, then for this object. Now when these objects are destroyed, in what order are they destroyed? They are destroyed in the reverse order. They are destroyed, they are created in this order, they will be destroyed in the reverse order. Okay, so object 3 will be destroyed first, then object 2 will be destroyed, then object 1 will be destroyed. So they are destroyed in the reverse order. So destructor will be called for object 3, and then it will be called for object 2, and then it will be called for object 1. Constructor will be called for object 1, then object 2, and then object 3. Okay, so this is what it says here, that your constructor or constructor are called in the order of object creation, destructor are called in the reverse order. And you can have multiple constructors in your class. Okay, that I will explain later, that we will see later. This is called constructor overloading. Okay, it's a new concept, so that we can see later. But you cannot have multiple destructors. Finally, you can have copy constructor. This is also a new concept, and it will see later. And in destructors you cannot have any copy constructor. So these are the differences, and that's it for constructor and destructor.